Welcome, this is Jim, host of the Faith Influencer podcast, where we're going to dive into discussions on faith's role in everyday life, from navigating blended families to overcoming challenges. I'm a husband, a father, a Bible teacher, an advocate for applying faith to everyday life. So tune in as I share personal stories, valuable insights, and practical wisdom. All right, welcome back, Faith Influencer. This is Jim Cunningham. So we have a little different format today. This is going to be an interesting take from a particular lady in a video that she posted, and she's gotten literally millions of comments. And so I'm going to be anxious to see what you think about this, and I'm going to share what I think about this at the end of it. And so hang with me as we walk through this video, and we're going to hear her story and her struggle. And is it legitimate? Is it right on? Can you relate? Or is it way off and can you not relate? And are her takes on her marriage and struggles the reality of America today? Or is it why marriages are in trouble today because of opinions like hers? So let's look at it. Here we go. And then we'll talk about it as soon as it's over.
I've been with my husband for almost 20 years, but about 3 years ago, I was strongly considering divorce, and I want to talk to you about why. So I'm going to tell you the story of the day where I thought to myself, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. My husband and I had 4 kids. We both worked full time. We had been together for 16 years at this point. We've been together since high school. And on paper, I have an amazing husband. He is incredibly supportive. He's kind. He's loyal. He's a great dad. He's very hands-on. He's an active participant. He's always present. Like, on paper, what else could I ask for? But in reality, my experience is very similar to the experience of other women. I had this amazing husband who on paper was great, but I was incredibly frustrated and burnt out from our marriage and from motherhood. Because what happens to so many of us is that we marry these amazing men and we have amazing relationships, and then we have kids. And when we have kids, women tend to carry a disproportionate amount of the work in the home, the work of raising kids, and the mental load. And that is exactly what happened to us. About 3 months after my 4th baby was born, I remember looking at my husband and saying, I need more. I need you to do more. I am exhausted. I am in charge of everyone and everything in this house. Every night when we cook dinner, you ask me what to make. Every day when you drop off the kids at daycare, you ask me what they need in their backpacks. I am the project manager of this home and I need you to do more. And he looked at me and he said, okay, just tell me what to do. Right? Every woman has heard this. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I said, okay, something that would make my life easier is if in the mornings when I came downstairs with the 4 kids, because I do mornings by myself, the dishwasher was emptied, the dishes were put away, and the trash was taken out. That would make my life so much easier, because when I've got the 4 kids running around and the baby crying, I can't be looking for their favorite water bottle in the dishwasher. I just need to know it's clean. And he said, yeah, of course. What? Yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem. And so, of course, he does it. But then I have to remind him, and then he forgets, and then I have to remind him again. And there was this one morning where I woke up, and I went to put something in the trash, and it was overflowing. And I went to get my son's water bottle, and it was in the dishwasher with all the other clean dishes. And I felt so disrespected and unseen and unvalued at that point in time. And I remember texting my husband being like, what happened? Like, why didn't you do this? And he said, sorry, I was running late for work. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he doesn't see me. Because what he's done has now made me late for work. And he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the impact on me. And he doesn't see how every single thing in our home happens because I ask him to do it, or because I do it myself, or because I planned and organized it. The diaper bag is full because I filled it, right? I put the wipes in there. And I felt so frustrated. And I remember thinking, what's the point? What's the point of doing this with someone else? I might as well just do it alone. And it's not because my husband didn't love me or he did anything to me, and it's not because I didn't love him, but because I felt so taken advantage of in our relationship. And this dynamic, it doesn't happen by accident, right? It's not like my husband did it to me, but we've been raised in this society that tells men and women who they should be in marriages and what it looks like to be a good mom versus a good dad. And we know the bar for moms is way up here and the bar for dads is way down here. And we fell into these norms. We fell into these roles in our family, despite the fact that we never wanted to. And I'm lucky, and I say lucky because I have a partner who I know loves me and wants me to be happy, and was willing and able to change. And so we did the work to figure out what equity looked like in our relationship. And I can tell you now, 3 years later, that we are happier than ever. Our kids are thriving. Our home runs like a well-oiled machine. And that took a lot of work. I want to say it took like 18 months to get there. And it was well worth it. But it is not uncommon. And so if your wife is coming to you and she's saying, I'm burnt out by the mental load and I need you to do more, she's not just saying that because she wants you to do more chores. She's saying that because truly it can hurt your relationship. It can ruin your marriage if you do not participate in an equitable way in your home. And so what does that look like? What does it look like to change these dynamics? Well, we need to really assess in our homes what the work looks like. Because in most homes, the data supports this, women do a disproportionate amount of the work. They just do. They do more of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and the childcare while also working full time. And men have more time for things like their hobbies, like golf, for example, or just working out, running a marathon, right? And so we need to have hard conversations about what our time looks like, what our labor in the home looks like, what is invisible labor. We have to talk about these things. And when we don't, the alternative is that you no longer have a marriage, or you don't have a happy one at least. And so I share this story because I don't think I'm alone in this experience, and I want people to know that there's hope, and that if you have a willing and able partner, you can change this. You can absolutely change this dynamic.
Well, there you go. So what do you think? Is this the voice of women across America? Is this your situation? Are you like amening as she is going through this? There are some parts of this I understand, but I'm not sure that everything that she thinks she's saying is what everyone is hearing, because some of the things she thinks she's saying is not what I'm hearing. Let's talk about it. And you talk about it too. You add into the comments and let's see what you say. So let me give you some take on this. One, it was a disproportionate amount of work that she does over her husband. I'm going to say what I heard that was disproportionate was the amount of times that she said I versus any concerns for her husband. This whole video came across to me. I get there's some of the areas that are legitimate, and I'll talk about that. But all I heard was her saying, I this, I that, I the kids, I my marriage, I this. So that stood out to me. I have a little problem with that because it's like, this is what I want, and I need to train my husband to be the husband he needs to be. That's what I heard. And then I heard her say that over a matter of a few years, she finally got her husband trained to be what he needed to be for me, so our marriage is better. Okay? Some of you are offended that that's my take on that piece of it, but it was. Now, let me say something about guys here. Yeah, there are situations where guys need to step up. No doubt about it. Now, I think it was rather stereotypical of her to say, well, guys are out playing golf and running marathons and working out while I'm at home working. I don't believe that. I mean, guys do that. Women go and work out as well and do those kind of things and hang out with their friends or go to coffees or all of that. I don't hear guys complaining about you doing that. I hear you complaining about him doing that. You decided to have 4 children. 4 children is a lot of work. So you're not going to have 4 children and not have the work. And you decided that you're both going to work full time and you're going to have to load all of this up. But can I ask you a question? How do you come to the conclusion that on paper, which is kind of an offensive way to approach this, on paper, my husband meets all of the needs that a wife would want. He's loving to our kids. He's loving to me. I know he loves me, you said. I know that he's hands-on. You said that. He's very hands-on. He works hard. He's all of these things, but I'm struggling and I kind of want a divorce. What? That doesn't add up. All of these great things about him, but there's some things that he's not doing that you want him to do, so you're considering a divorce. Why not just do it by myself? Where do you come to that conclusion? That's sort of an odd take on why I should get a divorce because he's not emptying the dishwasher and doing a few of these things. that's a little bit of a struggle that I can't go with you. Now, okay, let's say something, guys. Guys, yeah, guys need to step up. I've heard her story so many times because guys can, it's true, guys can just get home and allow the wife to take care of the home. Guys can do that. Well, what if we're both working? Then guys need to step up. I I agree. So don't hear me not saying that. I agree. Guys need to step up. Guys need to help. Guys certainly need to help with the children, need to help with the things around the house, do those kinds of things. Absolutely. You know what I do find strange though, and I want to ask her is that okay, so I get you wanting to help you with the dishwasher and those things because it needs to be equitable. But you know what? Every time I've heard this story and I've worked with couples, I've never heard the guy say, okay, well, then you come outside and help me in the yard and you help me with the weed eating and you help me take the trash out. I never heard that side of it. Only here inside the house, but outside the house, that's all you guy. You take care of everything because that's the man's job outside of the house. I'm telling you, that's almost always the way it goes. The outside is the man's house. On the inside, I need your help. I need you to step it up. I can't do all of this alone. Mm, maybe a little inequitable there, lady, on the big picture. Why don't you just say, there's some things that I don't want to do all by myself. There's some things I want you to do all by yourself. Uh, that's perhaps how most of it goes. So I'm not totally sympathetic with her. I think too, this is something in our society that has taken over. Now, let me go a different direction. Some of you really aren't going to like this, but this is what's happened when we've taken the home and we've shipped the home out to the daycare for the most part. And now we don't have time to take care of our home and our family because we've both chosen to go work and have full-time jobs. Sometimes maybe that's necessary. Sometimes you build a lifestyle where you have to do that to pay for your lifestyle. And when you build up such a lifestyle that you have to pay for it by both of you working and you can't take care of your kids, and when you get home, you're all stressed because you've worked all day, it's these kind of issues that come up. Um, are you following what I'm saying? That's not what people like hearing today because in reality, that's not often the case. You say, well, you're just being really conservative on this part. This is kind of like how it used to be when the women would stay at home and the guy would go to work. Yeah, you didn't have a lot of these problems back in those days when that was the way it was. But now that the reality is not many women are working from home or staying home because of that, you're going to have all of these problems. So, and it's not all the wife's problems, it is the guy's problem too. So, step up, guy. Ladies, she was driving me crazy for as how fast she was trying to talk and get this out. I kind of got the impression, and you may disagree, let me know. I kind of got the impression that she was large and in charge in that household. I kind of felt sorry for the guy I never met. I felt sorry for the guy who didn't have a voice in this video. I felt a little sorry for him because he didn't have any opinion on any of this. And I would venture to say that if we could somehow make our way into their household in reality, is that he's this little simping puppy dog who's going to do what she says to keep the peace. That's really the big impression that I got. Uh, that's how she came across to me. So, like it or not, that's this strong woman who needs to tell her husband in the household what to do. So, what's your take on this? What's your thoughts about this? You totally disagree with my take on it? Or do you also feel sympathy for the guy because she's ready to kick him out and just do this on her own because he's not emptying the dishwasher or helping with the laundry? By the way, can I say one other thing that I'm thinking? How unsympathetic are you, lady, who woke up one morning and you came down and the clean dishes were still in the dishwasher, so you had to get the bottle out yourself. Uh, and you had to call your husband out on this during the day, couldn't wait till you got home. You had to call him out during the day, text him and say, hey, what happened? Which is kind of ridiculous in the first place. And he had to say to you, I had to get to work early. How unsympathetic are you that maybe there are situations where he didn't have time to empty the dishwasher, or he didn't have time to get the bag ready for the children. He had to get out and go to work because he's helping provide for this family, because we've decided to have 4 children and everybody leave and work. So I didn't see you as very sympathetic with that at all. So I'm going to pray for your husband, because he's got a difficult situation listening to you talk so fast and go on about all the stuff he needs training in. I'm going to hope that he really is stepping up and doing some of those things. I'm curious what your take is. Little different format today. Let me know what you think. This is Jim Cunningham with Faith Influencer.